good, ladies and gentlemen? Fire o'clock. I like that, bro. I do like that. I like that fire o'clock. What is good, ladies and gentlemen? What is happening? Wicked, wicked. All right, then. Let's get with the flavor, ladies and gentlemen. It's Friday. What is happening, guys? I hope you're all doing well. We got everything sorted. Do we look okay? Wicked. All right, then, guys. So, today's live. I mean, we've had a little bit of activity in the charts, but quite frankly, I need to address a question. Now, this question wasn't asked to me. I'm asking all Bitcoin holders. Now, I've put a poll at the top of the chat. And my question to you Bitcoin holders, does it serve you to think like a trader as a Bitcoin holder? And what we're going to do is we're going to cover a couple of things in today's live, just so that you as a holder are not limited. Because when you think about it, someone that is a holder of Bitcoin, regardless of whatever happens, they will always be in favor of Bitcoin. Bitcoin could go all the way down to $5, and then they will still simply say, I still believe in Bitcoin's purpose. Now, that is cool, okay? But I'm addressing this to the person that had the same logic when Bitcoin was at 40,000, 50,000, 60,000. Because the idea was that there was so much happening with regards to Bitcoin, and we were just all listening to the idea of Bitcoin going to 100K, 200K. There were many impressions that were being pushed onto people to make them feel that they were missing out on a big thing. Now we're sat at 16,487. Don't really hear much about diamond hands. So today's live is going to try and help the Bitcoin holder to see if they can benefit from thinking like a trader but still being a Bitcoin holder. Now listen, there's nothing wrong in actually being a Bitcoin holder and a trader at the same time. Okay? Now, for anybody that is new passing through, make sure you put in the poll at the top. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Make sure you put in there what you think. Does it serve a Bitcoin holder to think like a trader? Because I might be biased in saying, as a trader, do I hold Bitcoin? Yeah, I hold Bitcoin. But if I can see an opportunity to make money off Bitcoin, I'm going to take that capital, wait for the next drop, and load up again. You see, the problem that we've had in the crypto space is everyone has just held on to it because Bitcoin is going to go in the millions or the hundreds of thousands. But you've got to remember, we've just had a lot that's happened in crypto. There have been many scams, there's been many rug pulls, and cryptocurrency hasn't had the best, well, let's put it like this. Cryptocurrency has got a bad stigma, all right? You've got CZ talking about this $2 billion lending fund or help out fund, bailout fund for particular exchanges that might need to seek guidance in relation to liquidity issues. But that's not going to take away the idea of what's been happening. The sheer corruption and the sheer act by Sam Bankman-Fried's company. Now, I'm not saying that, look, let me put it like this. From a corporate perspective, it's been said that FTX's books ain't so good. What were the intentions? Given that Sam Trudman, I can't even say his name properly, Sam, who has this poker background, placing bets the same way through FTX like he would on a poker table, kind of gets you to question whether or not these guys were just in it just for a quick flip. And that's the sad truth about cryptocurrency. People are all in it for a quick flip. Now, I do not ever limit myself to just trading crypto. I will always trade as many markets as possible, whether it's NASDAQ, S&P, Bitcoin, Euro, dollar, yen, might take a stab at the Dow, may pick a few stocks, because the legacy assets will always do the right thing. They'll go up, they'll go down. If the economy's bad, they'll go down. If they think the economy's going to be bad in the future, they will keep going down. But from a day trader's perspective, I have no interest in the long term. Why? because I'm looking at what's happening now. Can I profit from now? I don't care about profiting in the next 5 years. Anything can happen in the next 5 years. How many of you had even the slightest idea that FTX would go under? No one would have had the idea that FTX would go under. You thought that Sam Bankman-Fried, all right, he didn't really look like a guy that looked like he knew what he was doing, but he did know what he was doing in terms of arbitrage in Bitcoin. But when it came to a corporate perspective, maybe the money got to his head in the sense of how much liquidity he was holding and managing, and all the interest that he was getting from various investors, given that 50 document, 50 credited investors had endorsed the idea of Sam Bankman-Fried's FTX company, and those guys have not been revealed as of yet. Now, I know some of you are looking at the charts thinking, yo, Tino, Bitcoin's dropping. Bitcoin ain't going anywhere just yet, ladies and gentlemen. The markets ain't even open yet. It's still technically a bank holiday. The markets are only dropping right now. Well, NASDAQ's taking a bit of a nosedive. The UK session is doing its business. We are coming back into vector candle regions, ladies and gentlemen. Everyone was all hyped on the move up, but that's why I trade vectors. People still like to take the piss out of the vector candles. Well, let's see how it plays out, because we've been here 2 years and every vector since the 67K move to the upside has been recovered. Okay? Now, I'm not here to just boast about the hybrid system. This is my system. This is how I understand it. Whether you choose to use it or not is a different story. There are many other systems out there that do well. I'm not saying the hybrid is the only system out there. I just know how to use this system. And we've got many more people in the Pattern Watchers community that understand the power of the hybrid system when you really pay attention to it. And the key thing with the hybrid system is they always run for liquidity. They don't care about our conception of whether we think Bitcoin needs to stay above a certain point because of the miners, because of anything. Now, this is the same reason why a Bitcoin holder will hold on to Bitcoin. If you are a holder in Bitcoin and you've got gains, why would you not cash those gains in to then get more Bitcoin later on? Is it not accumulation? Because if you just DCA Bitcoin as it continuously drops, where is the balance? How much can you actually absorb? Now, for some guys, when you've got whales, for example, that are picking up Bitcoin, well, look at it like this. Why do you see many whales selling, buying and selling lots of Bitcoin, moving it to exchanges continuously? Why? Because they're in the position to execute volume. They can get big batches of Bitcoin, buy it up, and then hold it, and then get rid of it as and when. I agree. Bitcoin is the future. That's my opinion. I believe Bitcoin is the future. All right. But for a holder's perspective, if you are just looking to pick up Bitcoin and that is it, you don't even need to be on YouTube. You don't even need to be looking at anyone. You don't even need to be in this live, because all you care about is what? Accumulation. Now, surely, holders, you want to take some profit. Surely you want to take some money out so that you're in a position to pick up more. You see, the problem with DCA is this. When you dollar cost average, in my eyes, the physical behavior is this. Price is going up, okay? So you've been DCAing what? So for example, Bitcoin goes to 20K. It drops, you DCA, and then Bitcoin makes the move up to 67. What are you doing as a person who does DCA? Naturally, you would have got yourself a good fill, and price has gone continuously up and up and up, and you are sitting on a nice stack. There are people out there that were doing the DCA Bitcoin at 20K, see it drop down a little bit, and then it continues back up, hits the 67, and they are sat there chilling. Now they're looking at their investments, and now they're saying that they are back in the same situation as they were when Bitcoin last hit 20K. That's why the 20K, in my opinion, is a very psychological area in Bitcoin, because that's where everyone probably looked like they were picking up lots of Bitcoin because of the surprise that it took at the 20K zone. So what I'm going to do in this live today, guys, is to try and put things into perspective, maybe a couple of tricks of the trade, all right? For the guy who's a holder and not wanting to just pick up Bitcoin and hoping that it continues to go up. Because we're not in that cycle yet. We ain't even near the halving. So you can now spend from now until the halving picking up as much Bitcoin as possible. But what if Bitcoin continues to drop down? What if Bitcoin goes to 10K? What if Bitcoin goes to 8K? All right? What are you going to do there? And you've been DCAing since 30,000. You're bleeding money. But like I said, if you are all about accumulation, it doesn't matter. And if you're prepared to put funds into crypto, into Bitcoin, regardless of what's going on, no issues with FTX, don't care about that. No issues with Ponzi schemes, don't care about that. No issues with all these NFTs and all the scams that all these celebrities that are being tried for, investigated. You're not fazed by that. You just want to pick up cryptocurrency. That's all you want to do. You just want to pick up Bitcoin. Then this stream isn't for you. This stream is for the holder who sat there looking at his portfolio saying, why was I DCAing from 67? Do you understand what money needs to come back into crypto to get back into the 67K mark, the 100K mark? This is why I don't understand where lots of guys on social media will call out 100K, 200K. If you believe Bitcoin's going to go to 1 million, cool. All right. Tell me that when Bitcoin's at 500,000. Tell me that when Bitcoin's at 800,000. Don't tell me that when Bitcoin's at 16K. Don't tell me it's got a great chance of hitting 100K in the next bull run. Of course it does. But right now, people are wanting to accumulate Bitcoin at the most minimal risk possible. That's the problem with DCA. You are blind to the idea that you are, in principle, burning money when prices are dropping down as a DCA holder because you don't know how long it can drop for, and do you have the capital to load up when it starts to move up so that you can offset any exposure that you've had on the way down? This is something, this is how I'm trying to get holders to think like market makers. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to do. I'm trying to get you to think how the market maker would build a position. Tell me why it's wrong. It's not wrong. DCA is just an economic theory. Let's look at the practical side of things. How do you factor in inflation? How do you factor in unemployment? How do you factor in global recession? How do you factor in war with DCA? Warren Buffett sells stock. He's not about just picking up stock and holding it out for the rest of time. No. He, of course, picks up value-based stocks. He picks up growth stocks. He picks up the dividend stocks because he generates a return from them. But he sells stock. So why in crypto can't you do the same so that you can prepare your bag in for a bigger move when everything starts to turn? They give you the information, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the charts. Bitcoin's going down, cool. But what about the guy that was DCA from 50, DCA from 40? He sat scratching his head thinking, do I pick up more or do I wait? So today I'm going to go through it all. I'm going to give you a couple of strategies so that you can serve yourselves better. I'm not challenging the holders. I'm trying to make the holders' life easier rather than looking at their portfolio and seeing red. What opportunities can they get to try and maximize the accumulation of Bitcoin? You don't just DCA and that's it. You have to accumulate. You either accumulate Bitcoin, DCA, trade into Bitcoin, pick up profits from trading, and then put it into Bitcoin. Whatever you want to do. Because principally, if you trade, the profits you make from trading and you get Bitcoin, you're not at a loss. Think about it. Because the money that you earned from trading was never guaranteed to you. So if you do get it, it's a bonus. Put that into crypto. Technically speaking, you've just bought Bitcoin for free. But people are using their hard-earned cash. And then they have that problem of whether they get rid of it or not because they might need the capital from it. This is the crap thing, ladies and gentlemen. So let's roll with it. Mad love and respect, by the way. Mad love and respect for everyone passing through to today. I hope you've all had a good Thanksgiving. I've been busy. I've been with my daughter having a bit of fun. I took her to a toy shop yesterday. And the only thing that she wanted as a 4-year-old was Chucky. There was this little pop art figurine and she wanted Chucky. My 4-year-old daughter loves Chucky. I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyways, well, you got, listen. This OnlyFans story Okay, I'm going to address it one more time. I ain't doing OnlyFans. I have done it. Nah, I'm playing. Anyways, all right then, listen. For a holder's perspective, in my opinion, the holder should only be looking at charts nothing less than the daily time frame. Okay? Nothing less than the daily time frame. Now, as a holder, let me just have a look at the poll right here. What have you guys said? So there's 895 of you in the live today. And we have got, as a holder, does it help to think like a trader? 71% of you have agreed yes. 29% of you have said no. So we can see that there is clearly there's a good sample size. I mean, there's only 567 votes and 900 of you are in the room. So I'm going to wait a few more moments before we actually finalize the poll, okay? But check this. This is the daily time frame, okay? Now, let's just go over here. When Bitcoin started to move up. Yeah, Bitcoin 100K from here. That's what was being said. Go back and search videos on YouTube. Go and have a look. August, Bitcoin to 100K. They were saying it. The idea was being pushed because they had thought that this was the bottom. And when you bottom fish, you pay the price. So for a holder's perspective, what is he doing? If he's been DCA on Bitcoin inside of this zone, or DCA on Bitcoin inside of this area right here, tell me why, if you entered or DCA'd in Bitcoin around the 19 zone, let's just hypothetically say that, and Bitcoin goes up, from that point, it moves up 30%. Is that a bad thing? Is a 30% move up a bad thing? No, it's not. How can that be a bad thing? To create 30% return on your DCA at the lows of 90 or 17 even. So I know people were picking up Bitcoin. Tell me why that was a bad thing. So let's hypothetically assume that you did pay yourself and you took advantage of that and you sold around this point right here. And here's where thinking like a trader comes in. See, someone that does DCA doesn't necessarily care about moving averages, vector candles, Fibonacci's, or anything like that. If he starts to add it to his purchases and his DCA, he might get quite a bit, he'll be surgical in his approach. He's going to get in at the right time or the wrong time. He's going to improve the odds of getting his money in good, as they say in poker. Now, check this out. You took a 30% win, for example, or let's say 20, just to be conservative. Now you've got 20% more capital than you did when you first started doing the DCA. You've closed up your positions. You moved over into USDT. Okay? The goal of DCA is to pick up as much Bitcoin as possible and then pause on the way back up, because you would have then built in the idea of value so that any move up is generating you a return. Okay? That's what the whole point of it is. So when you look at Bitcoin right now on the daily, where else could you have picked up a DCA? Well, look at this. As it was dropping down here, you could have taken advantage of that on the idea of price holding inside this zone. And then Bitcoin moves up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row, which generates from the bottom all the way up to the top side, another 23% gain to the upside over about 5-6 days. Take your profits, close off your positions, turn it back to USDT, start again. We got another DCA zone right here. A stopping volume candle presents itself. So Mr. Market Maker doesn't want price to go beyond this zone. You start picking up some Bitcoin from the lows all the way to the highs. There's an 18% gain. Okay? So even if you were to pick up 10% of each of these pumps from a DCA perspective, and you are picking up Bitcoin inside of this area here, and then inside of this area right here, one zone there, one zone here, let's assume you picked up 10% each time. That's 30% more capital than what you originally started off with over here. Now you've got more capital to pick up Bitcoin. Now you can either pick up Bitcoin, have the positions live, or you can just simply just leave it alone and use that 30% gain and bank it. and leave it and never come to the charts again and look at it in the next 4 months' time. What I'm trying to get to you guys is this. DCA is awesome, all right? It's a cool way of getting the best average price, all right, on your investment. So that when it goes up, as it's going back up, you're realizing a return on your investment. Happy days. But what happens when you stop DCA? Look at this. Let's assume that you've been doing DCA from here. Here, here, here. Now you've committed quite a bit of capital. There's no more capital for you to put in to get a better average price. Bitcoin continues down lower and lower and lower. So now you're in a drawdown. Now you've got to sit through the idea of price continuously going lower and lower. Yet your DCA has been happening from over here. You ain't going to mention your DCA until it gets somewhat close towards the 32 point. You'll never mention it if it's at 12K. You'll keep that to yourself because you are in a bit of a drawdown, okay? So if you just look at Bitcoin from the top side of this zone all the way down to hypothetically 12K, okay? From that point there to this point, minus 71% move. Okay. So you're now like, you're in a bit of a situation. It's not helping you now, is it? It's not really ideal on your portfolio. You are sat in red. But if you are picking up Bitcoin just for the sake of accumulating it, doesn't matter what price you buy it at, correct? But that's the problem that DCA guys have, all right? There's the guys that do the DCA and that strategically want to plant certain points in the chart where they can buy Bitcoin with the favor of price going to start moving back up at some point. What if we're not there yet? What do you do in this instance? If you have yourself a certain amount of liquidity, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to do DCA, you only do DCA, okay, at the sharpest point of the chart. Okay? What do I mean by the sharpest point in the chart? This would be the sharpest point in the chart because it kind of gives it away on the daily time frame. Don't look at the 5-minute time frame or the 1-minute time frame or the 2-hour time frame. Those time frames don't exist to you. Look at the daily time frame. You see a red vector candle drop, then it pauses, stopping volume candle. If you understand the hybrid system, you know what the stopping volume candle is. So you would have had all of the 24th of January to work out if this candle was going to hold. And then if you were to go in at this point, you would have seen a lovely move to the upside. Sell your crypto and then bank it and get ready for another move. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? This is for my daily traders, the guys who trade the daily time frames. Let's look at Bitcoin right now. What's the prospect of Bitcoin going lower? Looks pretty high, if I'm honest with you. I would love to see a vector candle recovery zone right here, but unless Bitcoin can break beyond this region of the 16.8 zone, then there's nothing for us to look at. Looking at NASDAQ, where's NASDAQ right now? Okay, so NASDAQ, yeah, it's still taking the nosedive down to 11,789. And Bitcoin isn't really doing much movement. Maybe a holder's going to look at the 3-day chart. Look, is this what this is? So the guy that wants to pick up Bitcoin now, is he going to benefit from picking up Bitcoin in this area on a DCA perspective? Each candle is 3 days long. If he's in the position to absorb the loss, then this is a point right here where someone would assume that if they were to DCA from regions like this, in terms of the hybrid system, how likely is price going to move back into the vector candles? This is why thinking like a trader is going to serve you as a Bitcoin holder. Because if your goal is to accumulate as much Bitcoin as possible, then you're going to look at these points in the chart and ask yourself, would now be a right time to get in? That's what I'm trying to convey to you. I'm not saying that holders, they're no good for us, or, it's all about trading. Nah, man. There are guys that I know that actually trade, and whatever profit they get from their trading, they put it into their crypto. That's how it works for them, because in their eyes, that's free money. But when you're putting your hard-earned cash, ladies and gentlemen, and you've got the circumstances that we have in cryptocurrency, you are somewhat reluctant to do anything. Okay? If you are picking up or DCAing Bitcoin, you want to be paying attention to USDT chart. Why? Because this is, in my opinion, this is a psychological chart. This tells me when people are buying and selling Bitcoin. Right now, it looks like they're trying to buy it. Go into smaller time frames, okay? And you can see that the markets are pretty quiet. The markets are open right now and nothing's happening. Let's go to Bitcoin on the smaller time frame. Look, 2 hours, 3, let's go. Let's just do this on the 15-minute time frame. Look at this. It's dead. Nothing's happening. All right? We're coming into the end of the week. I'll be surprised if guys in New York are still at the charts because it was Thanksgiving yesterday and they get to have the chance of having a long weekend. So they probably would have booked Friday off. That's why you're not really seeing anything happening. Whenever you see this sort of situation, guys, use this time to reflect on the idea of what you can do in terms of DCA. Honestly, like I've seen so many people have come to me and they've said to me, Tino, what's your opinion? I've got this situation. I've been DCAing Bitcoin since 51 and I'm taking a bit of hit on my portfolio and I don't know what to do. Now, if my guy's saying that, then I can bet that there's a lot more people saying the same thing. Okay? You've got to remember when you hear like the likes of Michael Saylor, who's buying Bitcoin with debt, okay? He's borrowing money and he's like, yeah, just pick it up, man. I'm just picking up anything. Of course you're going to say that, bro. You ain't using your cash. I'd say the same thing. If I was given access to a multi-billion-dollar fund and they said to me, Tino, we need you to buy crypto, I'll say, no problem, bro. I'm going to go and pick up as much of it as possible. Then what happens? My guy steps down because he needs to focus on other things. Money's run out. Grayscale is now beyond its discounted value for the average price of Bitcoin. Like everyone is scared right now. But this is where opportunities come. Yes, the Fed looks like it's going to decrease the interest rates, but not decrease, but slow it down. The market has seen a bit of a rally to that. But now they've come back to business. Now they've come back to reality. Inflation is still a problem. There's no news coming out today. Nothing's happening in the markets. I wouldn't even be trading. I did my trading this morning, 1.5% on NASDAQ. Happy days. I'm finished. Done for the day. Don't need to waste time trading these ranges, which is why, as a holder of Bitcoin, you don't have time for this madness. And it is madness. This stuff right here is chaos. Trying to make sense of people's indecisiveness in the charts. You're dealing with the realm of uncertainty right here, ladies and gentlemen. Euro on its way down, which tells me that Dixie's on its way up. Tesla, come on, man. Tesla was up 8% before Thanksgiving. Of course they're going to bring it back down again. There's profit taking going to happen. There's a gap in the chart that needs to be eaten. Microsoft, doing okay. Hasn't yet realized this gap, which is a cause for concern because they're going to come and eat this gap very soon. Have a look at Dixie. Slowly coming up, ladies and gentlemen. And when Dixie moves like this, that's when you've got a bit of a problem. No vectors for them to come back and eat on the smaller time frames, which helps me project the idea of where I can expect price to end up in the near future, which is from a day trading perspective, that's all I'm interested in. I'm not interested in Bitcoin going from one massive point to the next, okay? Yes, I did say my projection of 8K, we're 50% of the way to it. Happy days. We're closer to 8K than we are to 100. But from a holder's perspective, I'd just say it's common sense, all right? If you're looking at picking up cryptocurrency, Bitcoin holders at heart are fundamentalists, okay? Go and have a look at the reasons why the stock market will move up. Where are we with the interest rates? What is economic activity like? I'm going to say it again. Prior to the subprime mortgage crisis of 2007-2008, the US economy was on nearly a 300-month economic expansion. Do you know how much money was made during that time? We're talking a lot of people got wealthy. That's why the impact of the subprime mortgage crisis came in so strong. That's why banks collapsed. we're going to have the same behavior again, guys. Don't think I'm Mr. Perma Bear and I'm continuously favoring lower prices because of the vector candles. Nah, bro. Right now, that's what I see. All I have is what I see. I don't see 100K. Not interested. I see 16,461 Bitcoin. That's what I see. Now, the nearest point of interest could be down at the 15 zone. Why? There's a vector point. I'm going to trade into that zone. Why not the top side, Tino? Well, look, we've had an attempt towards the upside. We had it here. We had it here. We've had it here. Why do I need to pay attention to the upside right now? Bitcoin needs to show its worth in terms of a trading perspective, and break out at least above 16,800. What's up there? Let's have a look. We got any liquidity up there? There we go. Bitcoin currently sat 16,675. We got $500 million worth of short liquidations. Down below, we've got nearly $500 million worth of long liquidations at 16,300. So let's just go to the chart. What's closer? 16,675 or 16,300? Let's have a look. Go to smaller time frames. We're only $160 away from 16,300. Okay? Near enough the same at 16.6. So we need to look at the chart and say, how likely is he going to try and break it down or move it back up? What's been going on? The pressures on the NASDAQ just took a dump. It's just ripped even lower. That could be the reset. That could see price coming up. But Bitcoin's got pressure on it. They want to run for the liquidity. So the only next logical point in Bitcoin to show support would be inside of this zone. And if they get close towards 16.4, then there's a good chance they could actually rip towards the 300 zone because there's liquidity there. Again, ladies and gentlemen, Bitcoin holders, let me ask the question. 892 votes. 72% of you have agreed that it serves the holder to think like a trader. Okay? If you're a holder and you want a DCA, the first thing that you need to do is you need to open your charts, or you just look at the news and have a look at any news announcements. That's going to trigger volatility. You don't want to be caught up in that volatility. Okay? Why don't you do your DCA in increments? If you decide to go DCA with Bitcoin today and pick up and use 10% of your portfolio and Bitcoin shoots up, why would you not take the profit from that? Because now once you've taken that profit, hypothetically, you put 10% of your portfolio down, you've earned yourself 3-4%, take that now, you can go look at another DCA opportunity and now use 12% or 13% of your portfolio. Use 10% of your hard cash and then 3% of the profits or 1.5% of your profits. Again, what is your goal? Don't just blindly pick up Bitcoin for the sake of holding it because you might not like the price it gets to in the future. And then you'll be saying to yourself, I wish I woulda, shoulda, coulda. Nah, man, that's not what I want for people. Don't just... DCA, it's a very dismissive strategy in my opinion. There are so many opportunities to make money with DCA, but people don't. They just hold on to it. They hold on to it. If accumulating returns is not your priority when it comes to DCA, then it doesn't matter what price you pay. Someone could go and buy 200 Bitcoin right now, lock it in the safe, leave it there, and no interest. But I'd say most of the people want to make a return on the DCA approach. Now they're having to work out what they're going to do next and how low can Bitcoin go before they decide to say, you know what, I don't think I can handle this. What if Bitcoin goes to a low of 10K, 8K, and then stays like that for the next 2 years? What if you need that capital? You're going to be hitting yourself wishing that you sold it at 16 as opposed to 10. But that's a hypothetical example of what the average retail trader is going to be thinking. Average retail Bitcoin holder. It doesn't take a genius to buy Bitcoin. But there has to be some mental, you have to have some thinking behind. What is it you're trying to do? If you want the accolade of, I got 10 Bitcoin, happy days, cool. Sit with your 10 Bitcoin. How much did you buy it at? I brought it at 17K. How much is it worth now? 5K. You're a G. Happy days. But you got 10 Bitcoin. Cool. But that's the problem that people have. And that's what happens. People picked up 10 Bitcoin at 60K. Yeah, I got 10 Bitcoin, bro. What's your investment saying? It's horrible. It's not nice. Yeah, but Bitcoin in the future, man. Yeah, we're here now. This is where we are. We are here right now. What's your Bitcoin worth? $16,000. What was it worth when you brought it? 60. Shake your head, bro. Whether you like the tone that I'm coming across at, and if I'm hitting to some people that may have brought Bitcoin at 60, these are the hard truths of trading, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't like this game, well, Jesse Livermore did say it. The game of speculation is not for the faint-hearted or the get-rich-quick adventurer. He will die poor. You've got to have grit. You've got to have an understanding of the way things move, how things behave, and don't dive too much into just picking it up and doing DCA because that's what everyone's doing. You want to make money on the game, you've got to take it out when it's presented. Ladies and gentlemen, go have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will check in with you all on Monday. Have a great day, guys. Peace.